Boom, we're on. What's happening, everybody? Today I'm going to talk to you about this book, Ultraworld, from my favourite graffiti writer in the world, Riots. I think he's probably everybody's favourite graffiti writer, to be honest. He's just an absolute legend, and I thought I would take this moment to do a quick wee review of this book that I just bought from him, because he's an absolute legend. It was very, very cool. He came to paint at Yardworks last year, and it was just amazing to watch him paint. I might even just stick in this wee video of him painting just now, because it was so sick. Like, how incredible to get to see this in person. So class. So the book is called Ultraworld, and it arrived in this amazing packaging. But obviously I'm not a super duper YouTuber yet, so I didn't film me unpackaging it, but it's incredible. There's just something extra special about physical stuff, isn't there? Especially when it comes in such nice packaging. I'm not super down for the ASMR, but I hear that this is what it's all about. And so we'll just get this open and get looking. It was actually really funny. This was sitting here yesterday, and there was two young girls that came in, and I was like, I'll have a look through this. And I didn't really consider that the content in here might not be age appropriate, but they got a good laugh from it anyway. I can see here that this is 219 of 1,900. I think these are still available to buy from Frameless Studios, which is good. And it says here, hello everybody, I'm Riot1394. I'm a graffiti artist and illustrator born in Austria, living and working in Berlin since 16 years. Some of you may have heard of me, saw some works, or even collected one of my books. After Riot1394 lines, Riot1394 World, Riot1394 Underworld, and Riot's Comics 1 and 2, it's now time to present you my newest baby, Riot1394 Ultraworld. Holy shit, man. Almost 5 years flew by since my last big book, Riot1394 Underworld. So I've had lots of time to paint and work even more for this new book. This time it was a real challenge to fit all my paintings. That's why we added 60 plus more pages. For me, it's very important to have it all in printed form in my hands. It's kind of an archive, and I am able to see what I've achieved over the years. I tried to do some new stuff on paper and walls and mix some new techniques. I tried to evolve, but most important, to have fun doing it. I did lots of different styles, sketches, canvases, characters, travels, jams, exhibitions, and now I'm very happy and proud to show you the whole spectrum. Big thanks, like always, to my friend and business partner, Riots1394. Without him, it wouldn't be possible to produce a big book like this. I hope it inspires the one or the other, and you have lots to see, discover and enjoy. It's an ultra world. And so see there where it says, I hope this inspires. I feel as though that's why I bought this, because it is very, very easy to be inspired by Riots. He is next level. Ink, paper, spliffs, brain colour music, walls, paint, fun. And I think the reason I love Riot so much is because he is so diverse in his ability and his techniques and his output. But something that I have noticed is he is a big sketcher. He seems to just sketch all the time, and there seems to just be like an infinite amount of sketches. And when I was younger, there was a book called Street Sketchbook, and it was incredible to get to see that and look and just kind of witness what was going on inside people's sketchbooks. And as you can see already, there's just an infinite amount of stuff in here. It's so class. I actually feel as though I've saw that somewhere. I'm not sure where. Maybe he's painted it, or maybe it's referencing something. This is kind of giving like 2000 AD vibes. But aye, the complexity of Riot's work is kind of insane. I don't actually know if I can do this page by page because I think I'll be here forever if I do it page by page, and it's probably not very fair to show the full book in a YouTube video. So I will just quickly kind of skim through. But as you can see, the first big chunk of the book is sketches. Basic kind of more just like one colour sketches to these more full sketches, like full colour sketches, which are, I don't even know if you could really call them sketches anymore. They're like full artworks in themselves, really. Incredible. Just such a good use of colour as well. Like each page is kind of one kind of colour scheme, which is really sick. But then he starts getting into these kind of even bigger, kind of more full page spreads in a way, which remind me of like kind of psychedelic posters that you used to see. Aye man, just wild. And you kind of notice there's always like a balance of like characters, letters, like comic book sort of stuff, like wee sort of popping bits of text. He also uses like pointillism quite a lot, so there's a lot of dots. But then there's also just kind of mad different styles as well. I might need to pause the video there. So aye, these ones kind of look more kind of like collage pages than maybe full page sketches. Honestly, just such an incredible amount of styles. It's amazing. I just wanted to come back a few pages and look at these ones here, because I feel as though this just shows the amount of kind of diversity that he's putting in, but it also makes me think about like the abseil graffiti that people are doing. And I would honestly love to see one of these down the side of a building. Like, I think how sick that would be. So we need a Rams and Riot collab so we can see one of these. That would be so class. Just looking at these, man, these are so next level. It's like mad kind of warrior characters, but they also kind of look like cowboys there. Even look at that character in there. Inside that, even the wee smiley face, knee, big weird sort of leg, man. Even that, do you know what I mean? There's just, aye, this is pure next level. It's like each leg has different things and like it's pure, a mad full character there. That's a full character. It's just insane how many like characters within characters there is, do you know what I mean? There's a wee bit of graph there. This is like a mad sporran almost. He's got a big fat spliff. I did actually notice that ink paper spliffs. And so this whole section that is dedicated to the sketches is ink paper spliffs. And so one can only imagine that a lot of this was done with the aid of ink, paper and spliffs. Also, his crew is called Only Stoned Kids. So that also points in the direction of that. And I find that interesting because when I was younger, I used to smoke a lot of weed. And I used to sit and sketch for hours. And I think it allowed my brain to just kind of narrow in and kind of focus. But unfortunately for me, I took the piss too much and I started taking buckets. And it just fucked me up. I think it was also kind of in the advent of like really strong weed taking place. So buckets combined with really strong weed probably wasn't like the best recipe for like a healthy brain. But it does make me wonder sometimes if there's some kind of like calming energy or just like focus attribute of smoking weed that allows people just to get really zoned in and kind of get out their own way maybe when they're drawing. There's a few other guys from Glasgow that I really love and hold in a really high regard that draw all the time. And I do wonder if they also have weed as a part of their practice, basically. So I'm not an advocate for weed, but I'm curious if that is part of it. And does anybody know any non-weed methods that can also kind of perform the same thing? I don't know, maybe a herbal tea or something like that. And so here we have brain colour music. Studio time is quality. Here I'm able to just draw the whole day without so much distraction and try out new techniques and materials. I enjoy music and let my thoughts wander. Most of the drawings in the previous chapter were also done in the studio, but also some on travels, at home and more unusual places. On this page I want to show canvases and works I could only do in the studio, and I needed more than a day or different materials and a plan. Most of my work I do freestyle without any sketch, if you don't know. And so again, someone who has such an incredible sketching practice, it's no surprise that he's also insane at making complete paintings. To be honest, these are kind of just like almost beyond what I would expect somebody to be able to do, because they're just fucking insane, man. Very, very cool. Love this kind of masking technique that's going on here. I've got another visitor, I better. So just this, like, the amount of studio work that he can make and the diversity of the studio work, again, is just incredible. This sort of stuff makes me think of Horphy. It's got that kind of, I don't know, there's just like a texture to it. And then it's interesting because I think there's a lot of kind of like masking that's used within here. And I know that like Riots would use kind of this kind of masking film as well, which just ends up creating such a kind of like sick texture. And then these ones are really cool as well, because these ones kind of look more like sort of oil pastel or kind of like crayon almost, which obviously lends itself well to that style. Maybe a wee bit of watercolour kind of action going on here. Some prints. And then we're onto the walls. And I love this walls paint fun. I love drawing a lot and practice it almost every day in some way, but still, if I'm not able to spray a wall at least once a week, I get nervous. I also love to travel the world to paint on dope spots and visit my friends and make new ones. I also enjoy to go paint alone and be totally focused. It's like a form of meditation for me. Over the years, I developed a lot of different styles, how to paint my name. Around every year, I try to figure out at least one new way or a new combination to mix my style up and to get more possibilities to evolve in the future. But the most important thing is fun. Words of wisdom there, right? Like, that's so succinct and so simple. Just enjoy it, just have fun. But oh my, do we love to make it complicated. This is huge. There he's there. And then this is Yardworks. So this is the painting that he was painting earlier that I'd kind of showed, which was amazing. Riots is so good that he obviously gets invited to a lot of jams, and he obviously does a lot of travelling. And as I mentioned, he's got a lot of different styles. Just very, very cool, man. Just an infinite amount of skill and technique. Always including the letters, always including some kind of character. And then I always liked it when he did this kind of light effect coming from the eyes of characters, which is obviously a way just to kind of make a little bit more of a kind of technical situation. A lot of people kind of use this technique, and it's quite funky, man, it's quite cool. And it's obviously just a bit techie. I always like to think about that when people get so good, they have to start complicating things for themselves just to kind of keep getting better and better. And must keep it fun for themselves. And I think I find myself maybe not doing that as much because I've never really been that dedicated to the craft of getting better and pursuing it. And I don't know, man, I've got like such a hangover. I've been doing my characters for 20 years and I've never pushed them to a great level. And I've never really pushed my drawing to a great level, and I've got a bit of a hang-up about it. But I don't let the hang-up get me down. I just keep making stuff. But I would love to have a much better drawing practice. But it requires dedication and it requires some level of obsession. And for whatever reason, I don't seem to have that level of obsession about drawing. I find myself getting obsessed with like reading and making videos and, I don't know, just different stuff. And it's maybe because there's like instant gratification there. I'm able to just get what I need very quickly. I honestly love that wee guy there. He's so good, man. He's amazing. So I don't know, instant gratification might be part of the problem, but I don't know, reading books isn't instant gratification. It takes a while to read a book, but there's something satisfying about just sitting down and reading. And I've not really found that satisfaction with drawing. I find my relationship with drawing is quite complicated and quite fraught and quite painful, to be honest. I do struggle with it. That guy's incredible as well. He is so, so good. I love him. You could probably just sit and look at this book for hours and hours because there is just an infinite amount of possibility and an infinite amount of incredible character in here. And it's all very, very kind of connected to like a specific style. I think this is what's amazing is like all of these things are different, but they're all by the one artist and you can tell they're by the one artist. I don't really see any of this stuff and think, oh, this looks totally different. I think it's like the way people use line, the way people use colour, the way they just like put things together. There's often, there's just like a feel to it. And I love that, and I think that it's incredible to see. I also just really love how Riots is often weaving in kind of like multiple kind of levels to his paintings. So like this one here actually has like a base, and then the piece is kind of made up of like 3D elements on top of the base. And I think that just takes graffiti to kind of another level. Somebody's got Snoop Dogg playing in their car outside, which is amazing. Snoop Dogg. So just an unreal ability to make incredible artwork. But it is hard sometimes. It's hard to see somebody being this good and no kind of almost just be like, what's the point? Because I feel as though, I was going to say this looks as though it's like walls that he's painted with other people. And so he's shouting out some other folk as well. I feel as though it's hard not to look at this and be almost disheartened. It's equal parts inspiring as it is disheartening because he's so, so good. I think this is Jacob. I can't remember his full name, but I love that guy's stuff, man. So, so class. He's amazing. I also love that one up there. That's so sick. And that one as well is class. Jacob der Bruder, I think that's it. Amazing, man. Just because somebody's so good, it's hard not to feel a bit like behind and a bit like, oh fuck man, I'm never going to be that good. I may as well quit. But it's also like equal parts, fuck, this guy's so good. I want to get this good, do you know what I mean? I want to put the work in and I want to get to this level, which I don't think is even possible, do you know what I mean? You need to be super, super dedicated. And I mean, I'm 35, I'm about to be 36. And there is something in my head that tells me I just won't ever be able to get this good. This requires a lot of time and effort. But maybe that's not true. Maybe if I started to apply myself now at 35, by the time I was 45, I'd be like 10% as good as this. And then by the time I was 55, I could be 25% as good as this. And then 65, so on, so on. And maybe that's something to think about. And it's maybe about finding my own kind of rituals around drawing. Just making it fun, man. It's pure funny. As I say this, do you know what I mean? I'm realising how stupid it is in a way. Because how lucky would it be to spend time drawing. I don't know how I've managed at some point to make that a complicated thing for myself, and it almost kind of feels a bit offensive in a way, because I know loads and loads of people need to go to jobs, and they need to just work, and it's miserable, and I've been there and I hated it. But now my biggest problem, or one of my, is it even a problem? Something I kind of struggle with and I kind of like wrestle with myself sometimes is the fact that I don't draw that much. And what a problem to have, that is wild. That is a crazy, crazy problem to have. And maybe I should remember that, and I should practice gratitude on the fact that that is probably one of my biggest issues in life, is that I'm not drawing enough. What a beautiful place to be in where that's an issue. And also maybe just use that as like, don't make it an issue, man. Get out your own way. Just draw, have a laugh, have fun. Remove any pressure of getting better. Remove any pressure of it having to be good. Just draw and just lose yourself in it and enjoy it. And see what happens. And see where it leads you. And don't sweat it. And so the final page says, "Welcome, wanderer of the Ultraworld. You reached the end of this journey. I hope you had fun and saw some stuff you liked, and you didn't get lost in the details. On this point, I want to say again, thank you very much to all the supporters. You were awesome. Without you, this book wouldn't be possible. I'm so happy and grateful to hold it in my hands. Peace out." And it is, man, it's beautiful. It's honestly, it's just such a beauty of a book, John. It would honestly be incredible to get to a point in life where you're able to make a book as beautiful as this. What a belter. And so from one struggling artist to another, I don't know, man. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you might be at least a wee bit interested in art. So from me to you, wherever you're at in your artistic journey, go easy on yourself, I guess, Joanne. Don't take it too seriously. Enjoy it for what it is. It's a beautiful thing. I'm basically just saying this to myself right now, Joanne. Just enjoy it. There's a lot of other tasks in life that need done. And maybe that's all right, Joanne. Maybe it's all right to not be the best at drawing. Maybe it's all right just to be where I'm at. And I think I'm quite at peace with that. I think I do quite like that. I know I'm not the best technical artist, but I'm like the best at doing what I do, because I'm the only person that can do what I can do. So if you want a big head, come to me. So as always, grateful to be here. Much love. Peace.